Hey guys, and welcome back to another tutorial by Aidan's Cuts. Today we'll be doing a taper tutorial. If you want to skip ahead and pass the montage of the scissor work, please skip to 1 minute and 4 seconds. Before every good haircut or taper or fade, we're always making sure that the top of our customer's head is always trimmed down to a satisfactory length. We need to make sure that everything's debulked to make our life easier when it comes to the fade. This is also super important in maintaining our foundation, our weight and our length around the side of the head, around the parietal ridge. So even if you aren't trimming the top, making sure that we're styling and cutting the sides so it's easy for our fade work later, because trust me, it does make everything that much easier. Once we're done with all the cutting, we're going to make sure we're going to hit it with some sea salt spray before we get into the fade. Make sure the hair is about 90 to 100% dry before we go in with our debulking guard. We're going to go in with the number 4 all the way open, straight into our scissor work, which will be our graduation around the parietal ridge, and then we're going to go in with our 1.5 all the way open, just really bringing everything down, only going to the round of the head and making sure we're keeping a super square shape. Once we've debulked all the sides with our 4 and then into our 1.5 all the way open, we're going to go in with our skin trimmers, making sure we're going in with a semicircle motion, getting rid of all that neck hair, and then we're going to go in with our talcum powder and make sure that everything's really clean and crispy. Once everything's super clean, we're going to go in with our 0 all the way open, going up about 1 inch, making sure we're keeping it level on both sides before we go in with our 1 all the way open. This one guard's super great. I think Gamma brought it out a couple years ago now, and since I've started using this, it's been a game changer. Once we've done this 1 all the way open, we're going to close it up, and then we're making sure that we're standing back and having a look at our fade from a couple feet away to make sure that everything's super even. You don't want to get lost in your haircut because you do want the fade to look perfect and even on both sides. Once we're finished with our detail work on our number 1 guard, we're going to go in with our 0.5 guard, just flicking up and removing that last little line. To complete the fade, we're going to close our lever all the way and making sure we're just touching that bottom line, not going into our 0.5 at all. And then we're going to just flick that lever up and down to make sure we're getting rid of all the weight. Once the back taper is done, we're going to begin our side taper with a semicircle shape, starting from the top of the C cup and going right down into the sideburn. All our next steps will be the exact same as the last one. We're just going to debulk with our 1.5 all the way open. Then we're going to go into our 1 guard all the way open, 0.5 guard all the way open, and then we're finally going to remove our 0 guard. To make sure the fade's always looking great and perfect, we're going to make sure that we're always going with that same semicircle shape and not really taking the clipper on an angle that it shouldn't be. So if I've gone in semicircle, we're making sure that our clipper's always at a semicircle angle and not straight. Finally, to complete the side taper, I like to go in with all the guards I just used, making sure we're getting rid of any of those dark spots that we can see. The next step will be to blow dry all the hair flat so I can get a really clean and crispy lineup. As I say in all my other videos, the lineup can make or break a haircut. If the haircut's looking really good, a great lineup can just enhance it to the next level. So making sure we're taking our time out of our day and really making sure the lineup is crisp. I always like to keep the lineup super natural and as sharp as I can really make it without pushing anything back. So as you can see in the video, I'm really taking my time, making sure I'm always have an anchor point and just make everything as sharp as I possibly can. Now, as you guys know, I always like to complete my haircut with enhancements. If the customer doesn't like it, we obviously don't do it. But if you haven't used it, I really highly recommend it because it does take your haircuts to the next level. All I used in this video was a little bit of a white pencil to really outline the lineup, and I also used a little bit of dark texture spray. This adds the final finishing touches to the haircut to really complete the look. So making sure you're following along and following all these little steps that will help your haircut stand out from the rest. I hope you guys enjoyed this short tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you.